All right, today we are diving headfirst into a book that's been making some serious waves. We're talking about Deep End, the latest viral sports romance from the one and only #1 New York Times bestselling author, Hazelwood.
So what's the setting? Well, we're in the super high-pressure world of Stanford University's aquatics team. And the whole story revolves around a competitive diver and an ace swimmer, which, sets the stage for some intense rivalry and some seriously forbidden passion.
With all the hype this book has been getting, the real question is, should it be on your to-be-read list? Well, that's what we're here for. We're going to break down everything you need to know so you can decide if it's the right dive for you.
First up, let's meet the two athletes at the very heart of this story. They share the same pool, but they are coming from two completely different worlds.
Okay, so on one side we have Scarlett Vandermeer. She's this brilliant platform diver, a med school hopeful, and her entire career is just hanging by a thread. And it's not just a physical injury she's recovering from, she is battling some serious PTSD. And on the other side of the pool, Lucas Blunkfist. He's the swim captain, a world champion, and basically Stanford's undisputed aquatics golden boy. For him, it's all about discipline.
So, what in the world could bring these two polar opposites together? Well, let's just say it is not your typical meet cute. It's a very specific and very, very private arrangement.
So, after a pretty well-guarded secret about their mutual interests in a dominant/submissive dynamic kind of slips out, they decide to agree to a sexual arrangement. The key thing to understand here is that it is totally consensual. It's based on very clear rules, and it is supposed to be purely physical. Emotional attachment is strictly off the table, or so they think.
But look, this story is about way more than just the physical arrangement. While that's a huge part of the plot, the novel actually dives into some surprisingly serious and really compelling themes.
Yet Deep End gives you a surprisingly deep look into an elite athlete's mental health journey. The story really grapples with Scarlett's recovery from trauma, her struggles with PTSD and performance anxiety, and just the immense pressure of trying to make a comeback. And all of this is set against this backdrop of grueling training schedules and some pretty complex team dynamics.
So, with all these different pieces in the mix, what's the verdict been from readers? As you can probably guess with most viral books, opinions are a little divided, and it's definitely worth looking at both sides.
Let's break down what people are saying. On one hand, a lot of readers loved that unique blend of sports and mental health. They praised the super detailed athletic scenes and, of course, Hazelwood's signature humor. It's often described as a really safe and tender exploration of that central dynamic. But on the other hand, some felt the spicy scenes kind of overpowered the emotional plot, and they pointed out that the D/theme, while central, is pretty niche and might not appeal to all romance readers.
This quote right here really captures how readers who loved the book felt about its approach. The focus isn't on anything dark or dangerous. It's all about communication, trust, and mutual consent. That makes the theme feel really accessible for readers who might be new to it.
And then you have this perspective. This is a really powerful quote from a reader who felt that the emotional connection between the characters got a little bit lost because of how many spicy scenes there were. So for some, that physical aspect really overshadowed the romantic development. It's a crucial point.
Okay, so we've covered the characters, the plot, and what everyone's saying. Now for the most important part, let's put it all together and help you decide if Deep End should be your next read.
So who is this book for? Well, you should definitely pick this one up if you love a spicy, college-set sports romance. If you're interested in stories that make DS dynamics a central, consensual theme, and if you really appreciate a narrative that seriously gets into mental health, trauma, and the nitty-gritty details of elite athletics, then yeah, this one is for you.
Now, on the flip side, you might want to skip this one if you tend to prefer low spice or closed-door romance, if you're looking for a story where the emotional plot is always front and center, or if that DS theme just isn't your cup of tea, this probably isn't going to be a match. Oh, and a little heads up, while it is a campus novel, this is firmly an adult romance, not new adult.
And there you have it. Deep End is a story about an athlete learning to trust her body and her mind again, all told through a very hot and very specific lens. It's this blend of serious themes and really high heat. So the only question left is, will you take the plunge?